Right, this is a quick one on the go for a Sunday morning, and hopefully one for everyone on a Monday morning when you actually get to watch or listen to this, or actually any time of the day or week, whenever it is you listen to it. It's a little slice of motivation. I meet all these people, right, when I'm out and about. I meet all these people through various events, restaurants, business stuff, and I realise a lot of these guys are just regular guys that have gone through their own hustle, their own troubles and grief and strife and things like that. And they've come out the other end not only wealthy and successful, which is obviously great and admirable, but also, they've learned a bit about life. And I swear so much comes back down to your mindset and spirituality and where you stand on life and who you're around and energies and all that kind of thing that I think about all the time. So this guy is Waz. Waz. He's known. Waz. That's it. That's all you need to know. And he's from a company called Audio Concepts. But more so than that, he's a bro. And he's super lovely, super generous, really cool in his demeanor. And I just like being around him. And I've only met him a few times, but I'm like, this guy's all right, So I wanted to get him on for a little slice of motivation. It's part of this little thing I want to do is talking to brothers for the year 2022 and talking to brothers that have got motivational stories to share. So it's all about 22, the year of the Bai and the year of the Bai, you know what I mean, the number 22. It'll all make sense in a moment. Here's a great brother. His name's Waz, and he's here to share some of his insights into the world of business and how you too can be like him with ponies and horses in your house. Come on, everybody wants a horse. Welcome to the podcast, Waz. I got to say, the first, I suppose, lesson I've learned with this podcast with you is persistency, right? Because we've had a couple of little technical glitches. We tried to do this yesterday, we couldn't. We tried to do it today, had a few sound issues. But I've got you now, Waz. Is there a lesson in that, Waz? Are you trying to teach me something already with your business knowledge and insight to the world?
It's about patience. Rome wasn't built in a day.
See, honestly, funny you touch on that. That's one of the main reasons I got you on, actually, is patience. And you didn't even know that. Because when I am around you, I've met you through Altaf and Desi Central and the comedy scene. And you're a friend of Altaf's, but we've met now probably half a dozen times, had dinner together numerous times, numerous comedy nights, we've hung out, and you've always been a super host when we come to Wales and Cardiff. But that's the bit that got me about you. I know you're busy, I know you're successful, but there's an air of calm around you, Waz, which I don't have. I have an air of hecticness around me. How'd you do that, first of all? Why are you so like, hey, and like, don't worry, don't me. I'm sorry, that's my terrible Welsh accent. Don't worry, it's okay. And I'm like, the sound's not working. I'm making you sound Italian now. But you have this kind of like, hey, it's okay kind of thing going
on. Well, what can I say? First of all, for the Welsh listeners, Borida, for the Indian, Namaste, Pakistanis, Assalamu alaikum, and so forth and so forth. And hello for the white people.
Right. Everybody else.
For me, bro, it's just simple. I just believe what you give out in this universe, you will get back, yeah? So it takes time. I'm older than you guys, so I've been there. I've been in the rat race, I've done running around all hours of the day. But what I've learned is to relax. What's written is in your destiny. And if you give out good vibes, people will give you back good vibes. And once you understand that, you're done.
Okay, now I'm with you because I think I'm going that way, which is probably why this podcast started, because I'm questioning life, I'm questioning my approach to it. But I'm going to question it because I'm going to talk to the guy in me maybe 5-10 years ago, or even the guy that I still sort of am now, which is, no, Waz, it's not written, right? God doesn't want you, or fate doesn't want you, or the controller of destiny doesn't want you to sit on your chitta and everything's going to be okay. He says, you got to get up and do something. So it's not just written, and it won't just be what will be, and you can't change it, because then you're kind of saying there's no point. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen anyway.
I don't know. I mean, the only way I'm going to answer that is, you're a famous guy. You're everywhere. I've grown up listening to you. I've followed you. Now with social media, it makes it a bit easier.
Are you grown up? Are you grown up, Waz? Because
I'm grown up.
Okay. I'm good.
And the beauty is, the chances of me bumping into you, in my eyes, was written. And that's how we've met. and we formed a friendship, and everything's pretty smooth. It was meant to be. Otherwise, I mean, I could never have met you.
Yeah.
So that's what I believe, that things are written. You have to get up and do something. So if I didn't meet Altaf, and that's how I met Altaf, if I didn't sort of do bits and bobs with Altaf, I wouldn't have met you. So I suppose, I mean, I'm saying written, keeping it humble, keeping it simple. If we go in the modern world, I'd call that networking.
Yeah.
So networking is how you succeed to a degree. Trying to be a one-man band, well, you'll always do well, you'll always eat, you'll always survive. But if you network and you delegate and you work with people, and, like, you can help me, I can help you. And if you're surrounded by good people, this is what happens.
Okay, we're going to touch on a lot you said there. First of all, just a recap for anybody else, and I know people have read this in the description of the podcast, but you're a businessman, first and foremost, right?
Yeah.
And you're currently running Audio Concepts, a very successful, what do you call it, customization service? How would you describe it?
Basically, we make people's dreams come true. So if you buy a vehicle and you want to do something crazy to it, we do it. Obviously, we started off as an audio store, but now we're more of a, I don't know, I mean, not so much pimp my ride, but, that's had its time. But a bit of, people come to us and they say, I need this for my kids, or I need this for my own self-satisfaction. And we create it from scratch.
So it's kind of everything from lighting to programming in your kind of screens, your digital screens, steering wheel, you change a little bit. So it's customization of the car. So it's like, wouldn't it be great if, and like you say, they want the screens in the back for the kids and the headphones and whatever. So great. That's what it is. Very, very successful. Now, I don't need to go into kind of financially how successful, but you're living a great life. You have horses. I mean, ponies or horses. What have you got?
Horses and ponies. It's the kids and the wives.
Right.
My daughter's the Welsh champion. So, we started off as a hobby. Me being an Asian dad, look, if you don't want to be a doctor and you want to ride horses, then be good at horses. Right. And fair play, she's Welsh champion and she'll be in the Olympics. So that's all good.
Wow,
she's only 16, 17 now.
Hold on a minute. I didn't know that. Because you very kindly said, because I told you that Milo, my son, loves horses. You went, you'll have to come down with the family and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And I will. I really will. But not in the cold. I'll wait till the sunshine. Yeah. But I didn't know your daughter was Welsh champion.
Yeah, she's Welsh champion, yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, it's amazing. I've just been, we're sort of, I don't know, second or third generation, whatever you want to call it. So my dad wanted me to be an engineer, and obviously with me, I was open with my kids. So I just said to him, if you find something you like, do it with a passion. Because when I did what I did, I was called a lafunga, if that makes sense, in our community. People used to say to my dad, your son, he's driving around playing loud music. He's just going to be a taxi driver. What's he doing, And now look at So never hold back on children. If they've got a dream or they've got something, help them rather than dictate to them, And but I can't take all this credit because my wife is the one that spent the hours. I may have funded it, but, she spent the hours. She's doing the driving for all the special coaches. And, the commitment is there from her and then the commitment from my child as well. So, fair play.
So then you talk about what's meant to be and what's not meant to be, right? Let's just touch on that for a moment before we go to the other part. What would you say then your daughter was meant to be Welsh champion? But then for her to be meant to be that, you were meant to be successful as in business. Your wife was meant to be the kind of woman who would have the patience, the kind of person, not necessarily woman, who would have the patience to travel and stand at the side of like a horse ring.
Cold. It's not. It's, horses sound amazing, but it's not. When you're up in the morning, cleaning up manure, putting hay out, washing them with a hose pipe, it's not glamorous. What we see is, the Wild West come riding in. It's not like that,
So if your grandparents could see you, your grandparents are like, we left a Pind so you could have a good life. You've gone back to your corner, back in the...
That's exactly what my dad says. He left Pakistan on a horse. And he said and a bike to get to the airport, and then he's saying you're going backwards to a Pind. But it's crazy. Life is a cycle. And it is how it is. I mean, for my daughter, I'm just going to quickly touch. She was struggling in school at a young age. she had that, is it, what's it called? When you can't read it properly, dyslexic.
Dyslexia, right?
Yeah, so she had that. And, we just thought like typical, or what's wrong with her? We got tutors, we got people in, but, it wasn't working. So she found a hobby with the horse. She started doing it from a young age of about 6. And, straight away she took to it. And by taking to it, she realized that if she focuses, she can do well at whatever she wants in life. So she used the same approach with the amount of training, learning, energy that she was putting into the horses, into her schoolwork. And now she's really clever in school as well. So she did that on her own back, not with hired help. So
Yeah.
I'm really proud of her that, she managed to find a niche, find something. She's already had a few calls from Universal Studios to be a stunt rider. So, people, without sort of dropping, names, but, some decent Sky TV series that they sort of, have horses on. And she's had the opportunity to work there, but she's still a little bit young. So I want to make sure, with insurances and this and that's in the back burner. I'd rather do the Olympic stuff more, get some gold medals or hopefully, some medals. And then she's got a career in, stunt riding and stuff, So
Amazing. How amazing. A Pakistani
Pakistani,
female stunt riding horse rider for TV and film. But again, what were you like at school? You say about her and what she was like. What were you academic?
Not really, no. I mean, we come from a era where you go home, you're sent to the mosque for 4 hours, that the Molana, the priest beats you up because you're not reading it properly. And then you come home and you're expected to get A's when you haven't got no family help. There was no such thing as a tutor in those days. And you were just kind of, my parents weren't really good at English. So you didn't really have any help. You came home, you had your roti and you were sent to the mosque and then you were asked then to get A's, So I did okay. Our era was sort of, not GCSEs, it was O-levels, if that people remember that,
Yeah.
So I had a couple of C's, but in business studies, which was commerce at the time, I did get an A. So that was my only ever A.
Well, so clearly something was there from day one.
Yes.
And okay, so you built upon that. Well, how do you get into audio concepts? How does that start?
Well, the story there was when you're young, you want to party. I wanted to be the DJ, I liked that. Didn't want to stand in the crowd. So I saved some money, bought some decks. I started sort of mixing, doing little gigs here and there. My old man and my mum was like, the music's too loud, it's busy. What are you doing? Why are you playing this rap stuff, So I started playing it in the car. Once I started playing it in the car, I wanted to listen to it louder and louder. So you get the gist, I started adding speakers and making mistakes or whatever, building a bit of a loud sound system. And I became a local celebrity, to Asians, I was a lafunga, to young people, I was an inspiration. So next thing I knew, the uncles that you call you a lafunga would come to your house and say, oh, beta, my window's not working or my speaker's not working. Can you fix it? So I'd be in the back of my dad's garage with a wire and a lamp because we couldn't afford torches in those days and just sort of fix things, and I just had a knack for it and just built and built and built. And I don't know if you remember back in the days, there was a yellow newspaper called the Free Ads.
Yeah, of course. Free ads are all over the country. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So in those days, there was no internet. There was nothing, if you wanted something secondhand, you either went to a shop and paid full price or you went on Free Ads and then there'd be a section for motoring. And in motoring, there'd be accessories and accessories would be speakers, radios, aerials, in what was around in the sort of late 80s, So I used to think, oh, this guy's selling this radio for, I don't know, 50 quid and it's worth 200 quid, new. So I would go and check it out, refurbish it, and then I'd sell it for like 80 quid, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'd make 30 quid, And when you're like 16, 17 in college or uni, you make 30 quid. And then I'd maybe charge 20 quid to fit it. So I would, from a 50 quid investment, make 50 quid again. So, that's not bad profit when you're young, And then I would reinvest that 100 into 2 radios and then 100 into 3 radios. And basically, you know, like that story, I started with 50 quid, you know, it's one of them
But
stories.
but that's amazing. And actually, on that note, that's what people can do now with your kind
Yeah.
of with online, with Instagrams, and with your
Yes.
little yeah, you can. That is still possible, but that
Very
came from your
possible.
passion, came something that you're
Yeah.
naturally good at. And just to
Yeah.
remind, like if you don't mind me saying, your parents from fairly humble beginnings as well. I mean, were they?
Yeah, very humble. You know, dad was from a bin, mum was from the city, so she was more educated than my dad. You know, but my dad did really well. You know, I can't sit here and say nothing. He did really well. Did property, did everything. But then the usual thing happens. You know, family attacks your money, and your dad. My dad was a bit like, I've come here for my family, fed the family, and then when it was his turn, he didn't get nothing. You know. And
Oh,
with the stress and worry and stuff like that, he became ill, so he couldn't really earn, and my mum passed away at a very, you know, young age. So it was a bit of like, you know, like everything was on my shoulders as I was the oldest. And, you know, we had like sisters to marry, this and that. So, you know, even though I don't regret anything. And, you know, it wasn't as fun as it could be, but I had to make my own fun. So rather than sitting around playing Nintendo like I should have been with my mates and going clubbing, I thought, well, my boys are paying money to go clubbing. Why don't I become the DJ and earn money for being at the club?
yeah.
So that was a thing that I became a local DJ. I used to throw house parties, and it'd make me a couple of £100, which, you know, would feed the family. And it would also make me buy some radios. When I went to uni, I couldn't believe it. It was like 6,000 students with cars, and all of them wanted a deal. So I made more money in university than I did actually, you know, just trying to run it. Even when I opened the business, because I didn't know about VAT, I didn't know about insurance, I didn't know about public liability. So you can imagine, you buy something for 50, sell it for 100, that best is in your pocket.
Yeah.
When you open a business, out of that 50, you got to give 40, you're left with a tenner. So you then have to build on your reputation, because, you know, you can't stay in uni forever. You might fail a year and get another 6,000 students, but that's not the plan. You're meant to get a degree and come out, you know?
See,
So if that
that's
makes
good.
sense.
I think a lot. I think well, firstly, you're playing yourself down. I think because you've spotted opportunities, you built on it, you've had the desire, and this is the bit I wanted to touch on as well. About you and your friends. You said they're all like playing Nintendo, hanging out, partying, but you just weren't like that. You just went, no,
No.
actually, I'd rather not be that. And we've spoken about this, in the past, you and I, about how you are the sum of the people around you. That someone once said to me years ago, 20, 25 years ago, it was an old Israeli lady. She goes, oh, show me who your friends are and I'll show you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you had these friends, but you didn't become one of them in that
No,
respect.
no. The difference,
Yeah.
sorry, I've interrupted. The difference
No, I was
was,
going to say, how has that shaped you? Do you think that's played a
okay.
factor?
The factor there was all my friends came from, you know, sort of double parents. So they had the mum and the dad. You know, they had shops, they had income, you know, coming in. If they needed money, they opened the till, and, you know, it wasn't an issue. You know, they had money to enjoy their lives. I didn't have that. So going back to my story of my first radio, I didn't have 50 quid. And a good friend of mine gave me the 50 quid, and I gave that back to him after about 4 weeks. So, you know, even when I had to start, I had to borrow money. So then from there, I became very savvy, where my mates would spend 10, 20 quid on Jack Daniels and not worry about it. I'd be like, that £20 could be £40, you know? So not a conjuice, not that type of person, just a person that had different, you know, role. I just had to do different things. And my friends were playing Nintendo and they were chilling. They were having a great time, and no disrespect to them. I would love to do that, but for me, time was money, you know. And even now, I'm 50, and, you know, we were sitting down having food. You were talking about some ideas that you got, and they
Yeah.
were great. And I was like, yeah, they need a little bit of tweaking, but they will work. But now, if you sat in a room with people just wanting to play computer games, that wouldn't happen. But
No.
you're surrounding yourself with people who believe in you. And, you know, I might not be able to do something, but then again, I might, or I might have a friend who's willing to do something. And, you know, that whole networking and who your friends are. We're in a group of friends that, rather than just talking nonsense, we have a laugh, but we push each other. You know, if somebody wanted a presenter, I would phone you and say, Tommy, this is available. I don't know what you charge, but there you go. You may go to your friend.
Oh, I'm
You know,
expensive. I'm
yeah,
really,
yeah.
really. No, yeah. No,
Well, I'll
I'm,
get there. I'll get there one day. One day
yeah.
I'll be able to afford you. But you know, I mean, and again, one of your friends might say, "Oh, our kids want some TVs in the car," and you'll go, "Wait, I know Waz. I'll give him a ring, get you a little discount." And you know, that's how the world works. If for me, anyway, you know.
Yeah. No, I
So
like that. So it's the network, it's hustle. Okay, so look, we're coming to the end of the year.
yeah.
Really, okay, why I wanted to get you on again is to hear that story. This is you are your classic, you know, immigrant family. Dad's built
Hmm.
himself up. Okay, yeah, he did his property thing, but again, all those pressures, all that stuff that's fallen on your shoulders. Similar, kind of weirdly to my dad, where his dad passed away, and the marrying of his 4 sisters came onto him.
Hmm.
And it's hard, but it can send you one or two ways. You stepped up, you worked hard, you've built this brilliant business. It's all going well now. And I don't want to be crude about it because I know you're not like that. But you drive lovely cars, you got a lovely house, you do lovely things. Because you're now rewarding yourselves for all that hard work. But you're super generous with it. You're super generous with your time as well. And that's what I love about you. You've got this calm. And I'm still like climbing that ladder. I'm still like, I want to get there, Waz. So I want to hear from people like you. And I know there are others that are going to want to hear from people like you and going to go, what have I got to do? So going into 2022, Waz, what would you say? You're a businessman, you're out there, you're doing it. I'm saying talk to mainly, probably more so like your 30-year-old guy or girl who's now got their business up and running, but wants to just, I don't know, what's it come down to? What would you say? It's a
Well,
notch,
I
to
mean,
take it up a notch.
I mean, for me, you know, I've been in business now for 30 years. Yeah. So use the tools that are around you. So you can imagine when I first started, obviously word of mouth is the best. Okay. I used to do advertising, whether it was radio advertising, advertising on buses, then big screens came along. Yeah. I use a lot of the social platforms. You know, it's another job. You know, it takes up time in the evenings, and the wife can get a bit stressed out. But you know, it's a case of what you put in is what you get out. So you know, I'm an old guy, so I'm quite late to social media, but I use it. And if it can chuck a couple of grand in your bin or whatever your business entails, great. I mean, the future now, to be honest, with COVID and shops and having to have passes to go into stores, you know, it's going to be drop shipping and stuff like that. So either you're a bespoke company that you make yourself so bespoke that people have to come to you and no one else can do what you do. So then you make a niche for yourself, which is what we've done because our customers come from everywhere, Singapore, France, Italy, not just, you know, Wales. But my youngster who's 28 and he's looking to take on the business, we're really talking about sort of buying items, drop shipping, because people have become lazy. They don't want to go to town. They don't want to pay, I don't know, these emission zones and clean air zones. They don't want to be paying £5 for parking. If they can get a product at a sensible price, I'm not saying rock bottom and you make nothing, a sensible price with a sensible background and a good returns policy and a good approachable policy to your company, that is the way it's going to go. I see my business going that way eventually because I'm afraid people want things now. They want to snap now and you want to now, you know? Even this morning, I've got emails from people on a Sunday morning wanting to buy stuff. So business never stops, but, you know, you have to decide, I'm not going to answer this now till Monday, you know? So if that
Well,
makes
no, it does make sense. So I suppose what you're saying is, firstly, coming back to your kind of slightly spiritual take on, you know, things are meant to be, and there are opportunities around you where you're kind of born into, you've got to take it. And then you're saying, take advantage of those. So, and I've always thought weirdly, the cure and the cause of all your problems and successes are around you. So
yes.
if you're like, I don't know, if you're unwell, it's because you're probably eating unwell, but what could you be doing? Or you know, you're living unwell, or so, things like that. So it's reflected around you, like you said, the company that you keep and all that. It's almost like you're localizing your mindset to go to think big, think nearer first. What's around you? What can you do? What have you got access to? Who can you tap up? And talk to those people around you, but also surround yourself with the right people. I think that's key. That's key for 2022. The right people, motivated people, whatever they're doing. They can be different.
But people that can help you, not just help you, you can help them. You know, I mean, last night, you know, I sent you a message. I went out,
Yeah,
went
dressed up. I've got to say, dressed up in a wicked 90s outfit. You were going to a 90s night, but that's not like, it wasn't like you had a 90s outfit sitting in your cupboard from the 90s. You went and got like a hip hoppy 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of look that is, like an ultra bright color puffer jacket thing
kid
going
and
on.
play look, I call
Kid
it.
and
From
play
the
look. There you go.
party.
Yeah. So you went to town on it. What was that about?
Well, that was a party which is basically I support, because I mean, new music is new music and young people love that, you know. But for us, our era is very much the old R&B singers, and you dress up and you go out. You don't just go out in a tracksuit, you know. And so I love it. And a mate of mine puts these nights on. Yeah. Now, just to give you an example of networking. Yeah. Now, these guys put a night on. I promote it to my customers. Yeah. My customers get a percentage off. So that helps the network. So by me just giving a little percentage off in my store means that some of my customers may not go to that event, but they will now because I'm pushing it. Or I'm like, come join me, we can have a laugh, okay? Now that happens there. Then the DJ is also a carpenter. So the DJ is an amazing DJ, so he's doing that to make an income, but he's also my carpenter in my store. So can you see the networking? So he's making money on a night out, but he's making money with me. I'm doing a gig or I'm advertising the gig for my guys, but I'm getting my customers going to their gigs, so they're earning money, but my customers are getting a discount from me, which maybe they might go, oh, I can't afford that, it's 100 quid. Oh, but it's 90 now and I'll buy it. So can you see a simple pyramids type sort of selling scheme working? And you got to help each other. And that's just a simple example of last night.
Right.
And then, yeah, sorry.
So would you say, it's because some people might say, stick to one thing, do one thing well. And here he is, a DJ carpenter, you know.
Yeah, DJ carpenter. And he's an amazing DJ and an amazing carpenter. Then I invited a friend from Leicester who works for Alpine Electronics. And we sell Alpine Electronics. Obviously, I gave him a night out. You say generous, but there's always a plan in the thing. So he came down, he had a night out on me, bit of steak at Stakeout where we went. And then he's like, oh, bro, I'm going to give you like the best price you can ever get in the country, like wholesale price. And I don't have to buy wholesale quantities. So he's had a good night. I've had a good night. Our friendship's grown, but I've earned probably 10% more than my competitors. So when I sell at retail and they sell at retail, I'm making 10% more than my competitor. Hence, which allows you to be more, well, when we say success, I'm going to touch on success. Is success business or health or wealth? You know, so you got to decide what it is, you know. For some Asians, success is only money. For some people, it's having a stunning wife. For some people, it's health, you know. So it really reflects. So don't think like me being an Asian and all I want to talk is about money. Health is important, you know. So I'm sort of slightly distracting, but I'm just saying you got to look at every factor, you know.
And if you don't mind me touching on this, and we don't have to go into detail about it, but you know, you had your little healthy scare bit, and that was your wake up call as well. So that's why you've got this balanced approach to actually. There's many things. Money isn't everything. Health isn't everything, and the stunning partner isn't everything. It's finding that overall happy balance. Look, Waz, you sound like you've got it. And if I'm honest, our friend Altaf is about to pick me up. We're going to go up to Leeds to do a comedy night tonight. But I wanted to check in with you, get a little bit of motivation. Yeah. This podcast goes out on a Monday. Anyone starting their week, I want them just to kind of get a little flavor of like, you know, just go do it. Go make the most of what's around you. And you know, and it's a process. It's a few clicks. It takes a bit of time. Having that patience as well. We can all get there, right?
We can all get there, bro. But I got to say, like, I follow you and you make me laugh. You know, you bring a lot of laughter into my life anyway, you know? So don't ever think you're running around this and this. What you're doing is amazing, you know, because without laughter, this world isn't a happy place, you know? And what a lot of people have gone through with COVID and this and that and all the hassles that the government have done, you still you've shone, you know, you've done podcasts, you've done this, and I follow you, you know, you're everywhere. And, you know, you're speaking to someone like me who's just somebody down there. Next minute, you're speaking to like Shah Rukh Khan and all these huge people. And I'm just amazed.
He's waiting outside now, Shah Rukh Khan. Yeah.
I'm amazed how you do it. So, you know, like keep doing what you're doing and this will grow, you know, and we'll have some more conversations. But I love what you do, brother.
Thank you, man.
From my heart, and I thank you for this opportunity.
No, don't be silly. Thank you. That's what I wanted to get you on. Again, you as I kind of I spoke to you and I was like, man, I feel little magnet vibes. I call my little magnet. Like I'm drawn to that guy. I'm drawn to the success of that guy. I'm drawn to the story of that guy. And what I want to do on this podcast is share those stories. We're going to be getting to more of that. I'll start something. I'm going to start it with you right now, and that is for the year 22. I want to talk to more brothers, and by that. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm playing on a little word. So what's the word? How do you say 22 in Urdu, Punjabi, and Hindi? What's the number?
Oh gosh, dodo is it? I don't know.
No, it's not dodo, you coconut. It's bai. It's bai.
Oh,
bai.
Okay, yes.
So it's your bai for bai. It's your brothers for 22. So throughout the year 2022, I want to talk to just brothers, boys, fellas, guys that are doing it, motivational guys that have been through it, got stories to tell. So I'll put it out there now. If you are, you don't have to be a guy. Even if you're a sister of a brother.
Yes.
And you want to big someone up. You want to just talk about it. You want to say, listen, this person's doing something amazing. You want to get on the Tommy Sandhu podcast. Just share that story. You've got a motivational story. We've all got something to say. And if you know someone who's doing that, let's do it. Let's do Bai for 22. 22 is the year of the Bai. Is the year of the brother. So let's talk about them and all their achievements. So we're going to do that. But it started off with you. Right here, right now. So have a great one. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I will catch up with you real soon. Thank you,
you have a drive and a good night, yeah?
Cheers, bro. See you, mate.
Hey, before you go, have you hit subscribe to the podcast yet? Have you done that? You should. Have you also started following the Tommy Sandhu podcast on social media? That's on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook as well. Do it! Do it. Because then, you know when those annoying little notifications pop up with the random stuff that you've agreed to let into your life? Okay, delete those. Let some Tommy Sandhu joy in. You know I'm going to be talking to the good people. You know I'm going to be having some fun chats. Why not have those on a daily basis and get the notifications as well? All you got to do is hit subscribe and like and follow, and it's free. It's free. It's our favorite word. Asians love free. Say it. It's free. Oh, it feels good. Go on, do it now.